Hi Bobby, I'm Mariam and I'm a local anti-racism activist. As part of Black History Month, I'm developing a series of posts to learn more about Black history for myself and others around me. I thought it'd be a good idea to interview yourself today to find out more about what you're doing in terms of anti-racism work. You're somebody new, contemporary, and someone who's doing a lot for anti-racism work in Scotland. So I hope you don't mind me asking a few questions today.
No, that's fine. Nice to see you again. And yeah, sorry that I've been struggling to get back to you and stuff. I have been really busy. So yeah, I'm looking forward to doing this and looking forward to celebrate Black History Month and do whatever I can to contribute.
Okay. So to start with, just tell me a little bit about yourself, like where you're from and a wee bit about your childhood and any sort of key memories that kind of stick out from that.
So I was born in Nigeria, and I was very soon moved to London. People don't really know about that, but actually, I lived in London, southeast, most central, Waterloo boy, Southwark soldier, whichever one you want to say it, as we used to say when we were younger. Then I moved to Scotland, and I went to primary school, played football, went to secondary school, played football, and childhood memories. Being the only black kid in your class, being the only black kid in your football team, um, being told you look like Lenny Henry when you obviously don't, being told you look like Andy Cole when you obviously don't. So many experiences. But one that sticks in my mind of childhood memory was basically probably playing at Hampden when I was a kid, and then getting scouted for football teams. That was quite good. I was the only black person there, so yeah, it was a very fond memory, if I'm honest.
That sounds amazing actually as an opportunity as well. So it's good to hear about that.
Thank you.
Um, Tell me a bit more about what you do now, work-wise, like, you know, what you've done career-wise in the past and what you're currently doing right now.
So, what I've done in the past, I've played football to a decent level. Went from being a goalkeeper to playing outfield, which is quite tough. Um, I'd like to say I was okay playing outfield, but I was probably a better goalkeeper. A lot of people would probably tell you that. But I was just as good, in my opinion. I also done a lot of hosting um, within Edinburgh nightclubs, famously um, urban events at their club in Shanghai and Opal. And obviously, where it all started was City Nightclub with my lifelong friend Craig Olsen. And he really birthed MC Bobs, as they say. What happened there? I was in my flat at the time watching Match of the Day, and he texted me saying, "Do you fancy coming round to help me with something?" And I said, "To do what?" He says, "Oh, I just need you to come and help me with a set." And I was like, "No." I was like, "No." And he's like, "Oh, come on." And I was like, "I'm about to watch Match of the Day." And he was like, "Come on, help me out." So I was like, "Okay," I went. And then he was like, he basically said that MTV had came to the club and they wanted to see if we had the guy with a hype man, guy that can rile a crowd up, and stuff. And he just said, "Just do what you normally do, but say it on the mic." And then then it happened, and then that was what I was doing. And I also I work for the council, Edinburgh Council. I'm currently training to be a quantity surveyor. So I'm studying at Heriot University, as well as working full time. I work in investments. Um, I also run a podcast called No Beef Podcast, where I talk about racism and discrimination, all forms of discrimination. And it's not just about me. I actually interview people. Obviously, I've interviewed yourself, which I'm very grateful for you coming on. Um, so that's what I do, and that's what I'm currently doing right now.
That's fantastic. I mean, actually hearing about the No Beef podcast has been actually a really good thing, actually, in terms of shared lived experiences of racism in Scotland. I think that's something quite new and contemporary. Tell me a wee bit more about the No Beef podcast and any other areas of work that you're sort of engaged with in terms of civil rights and anti-racism in Scotland.
Yeah, so at the Edinburgh Council, I am the first chair of the BAME network. So in 2020, it's quite sad to be the first of something, but you can either dawn on the sadness or you can rejoice on the joyfulness, and I choose to rejoice. And I think it's the council are looking to move in the right direction. Obviously, with a personality like mine's helps. So yeah, it's good. It's good. We're trying to make strides for race equality, but not just black people and Asian or the BAME community. White people as well, because obviously there's when you talk about privilege, white privilege, and so on. There's some people, white communities that come from different backgrounds. Poor, middle class, working class, whatever. We just want it to be equal, and my team and my network are hoping to be the voice for that within the council. And I hope that I'll make some changes that for anyone who is from the BAME community that does come to the council is aware that they have a support system. And I'm quite happy that I was the one that created that.
That's fantastic that you've recognised that, especially like in an employment situation as well.
Yeah.
And it will be a great support for people in Edinburgh going forward. But tell me more about the No Beef podcast.
Oh yeah, beg your pardon.
Something.
Yeah, so I do apologise. Yeah, so the No Beef podcast, basically it came from June the 7th. I went to the protest at R4C, and I was very emotional, very passionate and sad because, as a child, I was told that I need to work twice as hard as the next person because I was black, and now I see people being murdered, I see people dying, I see people being harassed, and just because of the colour of their skin. So I thought to myself, what can I do to create awareness? What can I do to give a platform where people may not be able to want to talk about it, however, but they'll probably listen? So I decided the No Beef podcast, and I thought, no beef basically means, I'm not judging you. There's no beef here. I've got no qualms with you at all. Whatever you want to say will be accepted and respected. So there's no beef. So yeah, the No Beef podcast. And I'm very lucky to have had the chief executive of Edinburgh Council. I've had Adam McVeigh, the leading Edinburgh Council. The councillor, the leader of the Edinburgh Council. I've had different heads of departments. I'm very fortunate to speak to a few footballers that play in Scotland. Marvin Bartley, who's for me one of the main heads for the black community within Scottish football, because he's still actively playing. And I believe, I don't know if, quote me if I'm wrong, someone please will tell me, I think he's the first black reserves manager in Scotland. So for me it's a testament. To be able to say I know him is brilliant. What I do with this is I talk about racism, I talk about discrimination, I ask about their views and their opinions, and what they think should be eradicated or how things should be eradicated. I also ask them to share their personal experiences. And on these podcasts, Miriam, I have white people as well who talk about discrimination. I have white females that talk about being discriminated against women. And it's very key. I'm here to unite everyone for a diverse future.
Okay. I mean, I've been on the No Beef podcast, and I can see how helpful it has been to talk about my experience as a parent and education and other scenarios as well. So I think going forward, I look forward to seeing more speakers come on and more
Thank you very
experiences
much.
that people are sharing as well. Now, thinking ahead as a civil rights activist, which is what you are, and obviously an anti-racism campaigner as well, what would you like to achieve from the work that you're doing? What would you like to see as changes going forward in terms of the black community, and in terms of just society in whole in Scotland? What would you like to see happen in future? So it's quite a big question. So 3 parts, starting with yourself, right?
Okay, with me, when I started the podcast, I didn't know what was going to happen. I just wanted to do something that was right. When I started the network, I didn't know what's going to happen. And then, call me crazy, but Martin Luther King, Harriet Tubman, Rosa Parks, all these people weren't trying to get likes or get views. They just stood up for what they thought was right and what is right. And that's all I'm doing. And I'd love to think that in 20 years' time, 10, 20, 30 years' time, that whoever comes into the council, whoever, whether you're black, white, Asian, whatever, you know, there's a network there that accepts everyone. So my aim is for everyone to be treated equally, regardless of your gender, your sexual identity, whether you're a single parent, whether you're a man, whether you're a woman, no matter what skin color you are accepted. Because what I've learned in my working history is that you don't have to like someone; you just have to accept and respect them. That's it.
Yeah.
And I want to create that space or that atmosphere, that network where everyone can come in and be united, and we all have differences. We all come from different paths, and that's what makes everything so beautiful, because we all have a different story to tell. We all have different ways of doing stuff. That's how we learn to be more diverse. And that just creates more awareness. For example, we're having a conversation. Whoever watches this will then go have a conversation with their household, their friends. The second part, I believe that's what I want to happen in Scotland.
No, in terms of relation to like the black community, what changes you would like to see?
I want to be seen as a black leader, and that's not to be arrogant or cocky, no, because when I look around, I don't really see many black leaders. I see leaders, but I don't see people that look like me with the same color. I want for us to be confident in ourselves, in the black community. I don't want us to be told we're too emotional. I don't want us to be told, get over it, it's fine, or that's just the way it is. No, because this is just as much as our world as everyone else's. So I'd say to young black men, young black women, the BAME community, stand up, be counted, and don't be scared, because the worst thing someone can ever say to you is no. 100%. We can talk about racism and so on, but I want us to have opportunities where we can excel, where we don't doubt ourselves, and where we don't question ourselves. That's what I want for the black community. I want I want young black boys and girls, boys and girls from the Asian community, or anyone from the BAME community, be like, if I want to be a postman, if I want to be a nurse or whatever, go for it. Don't let what you see stereotype your thinking. Don't let them dilute your thinking. Be whoever you want to be, because the platform will be there and is there. Yeah. And what was the first part of your questions?
Well, just coming back to what you're discussing about black leaders, I was just going to tease out a wee bit more. I mean, you're saying black leaders, now we have community leaders, we have activists who are leaders, but I'm thinking you're meaning in a sense of employment.
Yes.
That we have black leadership in those roles as well, because right now we're not really seeing that in Scotland. I'm not really aware of black leadership, especially in public services or public sector.
So I want to be the first black chief executive of Edinburgh. Might sound crazy, it might sound wild. Good for you. People might laugh, but I'm ambitious, and why not? I see heads of departments be replaced of people that look like them. White males are being replaced by white males. They're not being replaced by white females. In my employment, I don't think we have any black people in any lead. We don't have any black people in leadership, and that's not to say that my employer is racist or no. I'm not saying that they're not. They don't discriminate. What I'm saying is that the opportunity has to be allowed, or we need to create a scenario, or create the opportunity for us to be encouraged to apply. I look and I think to myself, we don't have any black chief executives. We don't have any black heads of so on. Why? I need to ask myself. So why not try and break the mold? Work hard, learn, study. Knowledge is power. And one day, hopefully, I mean, we're all allowed to have ambition. So why are we not allowed to attack that?
Yeah, and I get it, and best of luck with that. Honestly, I wish you well, and
I don't know. I know the chief executive from the council, so Yeah, I don't know if you'll like hear me say that, but he's got to retire one day, so it's fine.
Yeah. Well, you'll get there, and
God
one way or
willing,
another, I
yeah.
think we are going to see
God
you
willing.
as a black leader and someone in public services. So
I'd just
best
like
of
to add
luck with that.
also to about the black community. You know, I'd also like to say that growing up, being black, being Nigerian, being Scottish, you know, us black people, us BAME people, grew up with two different cultures. You know, and mentally it's tough because outside of the household, we're the Scottish person. In the household, we're the African, we're the Asian, we're the Caribbean. And so on and so on. And I'd like for people that are going through this to be able to approach me or to be able to talk about it, because this is where the mental health creeps in, where we need to make sure that we are of good mental health, because identity crisis is such a thing that's not spoken about. When I say identity crisis, is that my name's Bobby, but my mom calls me a different name, but we don't do that. So we do it this way. I can't do that because I'm African, or that's just what we do, mum, or you don't do that. Stuff like that, where you can be pulled post to pillar thinking, am I Scottish or am I Nigerian? Are these people really my friends because I'm not really Scottish? So stuff like that. I want to be seen as someone that break the mold, do what makes you happy, do what you believe in, represent your country, represent your origin, respect and accept, basically, and try be your own person.
Yeah. That sounds like, that's good advice for everyone, I think, to hear, to be honest. And it kind of links on well to what you'd like to see in society as a change as well. And I think coming back to the individual and about our own inner strength, that's quite key as well. But any other things you'd like to see change in society going forward?
Yeah, I think we need more women leaders, if I'm honest. Don't know why, for some reason, talking about female leaders and talking about black leaders seems to be a touchy subject, so I'm going to touch on it. Within my employer, I don't really see that many. I think there's 6. But, there has to be a change. Even with government and so on, there needs to be a change. Obviously, Nicola is female, so she's doing all right. Some may say yes, some may say no, but she's still a female leader, and I think we need to encourage women to go for these kind of positions. We also need to encourage inclusion. When I'm talking about disability, LGBT, trans, all these other categories that deserve and are equal to being treated equal. We need people from all these categories to be encouraged to go for these positions. I was very fortunate enough to interview Murdo Wadwa, who's a trans, and she's seeking to be counsellor for SNP. And what a conversation I had with her. And I wish her all the best. And we need more stuff like that. I mean, I always say to everyone, people say to me, "Oh, that's not normal," or "This isn't." But what is normal, though? I mean, if you ask someone what you put on your toast, someone might say jam, someone might say butter, someone might even say honey. So we're all different. So there's no such thing as normal, and that's what I want to keep repeating to people, telling people, create your own normality, forget a stereotype, forget a category, and also at the same time encourage these people from all these categories to come forward and represent. I
No,
hope I
that's
answered.
fantastic. Yeah, no, you did. No, that's really helped. And yeah, Nicola Sturgeon is great. I mean, I don't agree with her on everything, but she's doing a good job at the moment. So, and having a female leader there has been quite inspirational for a lot of women. But going forward, now thinking forward, I mean, you're a dad, I'm a mum as well. We've got children. Thinking, generations ahead and the work that you're doing, what kind of impacts would you like to leave? Is there anything you'd like to say, any words, or quotes you'd like to say, so when people, think about what Bobby did in the past, and experienced some of that through your words as well. Was there anything you would like to share?
Yeah, so like obviously on my podcast, I say at the end, at the tail of it, I say, safe to say there's no beef between me and the person. And what that means is that once you come on my podcast, it's a safe bed. It's, relax, speak your mind. You won't be judged. If you speak out of terms, you'll be corrected. So future, you can then correct other people. And in future, you've been educated. I have this saying where I go, yeah, so what? And it basically, I go, yeah, so what? So what that means to me is that when I get told, you can't do this, you can't do that, you can't do it, yeah, so what? Allow me to make my own decision. Allow me to fail. Allow me to go and seek an opportunity. If I fail, I fail, but I fail on my own terms. Don't dilute me. Don't try and disencourage me. And also, don't try and degrade me and say I can't do that. So, yeah, so what? That means to me, I don't care of what has been set in place 10, 15, 20 years, 30 years before me. And I want to have the attitude, I'm going to attack, I'm going to do good. And you know what? I'd like and love to believe I'm going to succeed. And talking about my son, when he gets older, I want him to be able to smile. I want him to be able to be free and not have to be consciously worried about being in a certain area, being in a certain employment. I didn't have the conversation about his skin color. The funny thing is, my son's mixed race. So, he comes from an Algerian background, Nigerian background, and a Scottish background. So, for me, he's got a beautiful mix, and he's mixed race, and you have to accept him because he's a beautiful boy. So, you might not like him, but you'll like looking at him. But no, my point is that I want him to not experience what I experience. I want him to be able to walk anywhere, do anything, whether it's employment, education, life, and not have to worry or be conscious about, is it because of the colour of my skin? That's my aim.
Any last words or anything else you'd like to share?
So, I'm a union man, and I am the first Black Members Officer of my Edinburgh branch, so that's quite big. I don't play it down, but I'm not hyping it up because, like I said to you, there's still work to be done. This is just the start. I just like people to know that, if you've met me or you've worked with me and so on, I'm very passionate. I'm very passionate in making changes. I want the same platform that you had. I don't want to have to work twice as hard. I want to just work the same as you to try and have an opportunity. I'd also like to say, I want everyone to smile a lot more. And I do this quite a lot, especially when I should be serious. I smile a lot, and I think it's just perspective, how you see things. And I feel very fortunate to be in a position that I am, where I can talk about things and help people make a change. And this time with me, it's just not words. There is going to be action.
Well, on that note, thank you so much, Bobby, for letting me interview you today, and thanks again for this Black History Month series. And yes, everybody, please make sure that you tune into the No Beef podcast, and keep, look out for Bobby. He's doing a lot of good work. Okay, thanks again, Bobby.
You're welcome. Thank you.